Hi there, folks. This is Jameson with another A Nation of Wind developer commentary. Sorry that it's been so long since the last one. I've been ridiculously busy as of late. Had a friend visiting that I haven't seen in a year since he went to go teach in South Korea, and just a lot of other things. Was working with a friend on some freelance, and then also on some individual freelance, and just a lot of stuff. So again, apologies that I haven't had an update in a while for this. I really don't want to go any longer than a couple days without a major update. I've been doing little blog posts and such on the Tumblr, but that's about it. Nothing really substantial, and I kept putting this off basically. So anyways, let's get to it. Today we're going to talk about Magic. Again, this is another one that I have previously gone over in a blog post. I've even actually done a silent 5-minute video about it, in which I went over basically everything that I'm going to go over today, but I didn't get the chance to explain it, and I'd really like to have the opportunity to do that, because again, the Magic is not as complicated as a lot of the other systems in the game, but it does give me the opportunity to just kind of go over things, and hey, it gives you guys the opportunity to see some more in-game footage, so I figure that's never a bad thing. So anyways, let's get to it real quick. First of all, the things that we need to understand are how building factors into Magic. The thing about it is that I haven't gone over the building of units in the game, and that's because it's not completed yet. However, the amount that I need to show you is finished for the most part, so that shouldn't be an issue. Also, you might notice I have been working on the building of units recently. So there are 2 new icons down here at the bottom. They should be pretty self-explanatory. The dynamite represents the destroy function, and then the hammer repair is the repair function. Repairing requires food at the moment, and for 5 units of food, you get 5 health back for a unit. Units are way too weak at the moment, though. They get destroyed pretty quickly. I might figure out a way to fix that or something. I'm thinking about having a unit that might repair all units around it or something like that, or adding that functionality to a currently existing unit, because I don't really want to add any more units at the moment. So the first important thing to keep in mind is that there are these 4 temples, and they correspond to the 4 schools of magic, and it's real simple. It's Greek elements, wind, earth, water, fire. Now, the only place that you can build these temples, unlike most of the other units in the game, which can be built on any grass tile, these can only be built on the holy ground, which is this tile right here, around the mysterious obelisks. So that's why controlling the obelisks is important, because you can build 4 temples. The number of temples you have of any given element increases the power of that element's magic. So, for instance, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to build some fire temples, and then we'll also build some wind temples real quick. Now, this is not how the unit building will work in the finished product of the game. There will be like a timed system where your I don't know, the villagers basically have to build the stuff for you, and it takes time. At the moment, though, there is none of that functionality, obviously. So, the other unit that's important is the church. And the church, the way that it works is that based on the number of villagers that are, or the number of villages that are within a certain radius of it, it gives back mana to the player at the end of every day. So I'm just going to avoid that moth real quick because I don't want to fight him. So the churches and the temples are the primary units for mana in this game. So temples increase the power of your spells, and then the churches give you back mana to use them. So this is the magic system here. So first off, oh crap, I did not mean for that guy, I don't know, I completely missed him. So anyways, let me kill him really, really fast. Okay. Right, so up here you have your mana bar, and every one of the 4 elements has 2 spells associated with it. It has a light spell and a heavy spell. A major and a minor spell is what I'm calling them at the moment. Now, the minor spells are, for the most part, more or less tools. A lot of the major spells are as well. And the thing about magic is you could probably beat the game without ever touching magic. You never necessarily have to use it, but it is extremely useful. For instance, one of the great uses of it that I've really liked, that I've added as implementation, is the fire spells, the fire element's minor spell. it evaporates water, and the reason that that's important is you obviously cannot build units on water. I might add functionality to be able to build certain units in water, but that will not be until a later version of the game. For now, there are no units that can be built on water. So the fire spell is exceedingly useful for building within the floating islands. It makes things much easier for the player. Now, the other thing, like I said, is that there are major spells for each of the categories, and the major spells are cool because they summon the god that is associated with that element, and the gods are going to play some kind of important role in the story of the game. So it's kind of cool. I wanted to definitely tie them to the gameplay as well. So in the fire spell's case, let's go hunt down some enemies real quickly. The fire spell is the only offensive spell. The fire major spell is the only offensive spell in the game. And based on the number of fire temples that you have, it does damage to everything on screen. So let's go ahead and summon him there. And now he's going to just summon down this rain of meteors and basically just destroys everything. So it's a pretty clear, straightforward spell. You know, there's not a whole lot to it. It's just a screen clear essentially. You know, and it does a lot of damage. And all the major spells cost the exact same amount of mana to use, which is 50, and all the minor spells cost 10. And you can increase your mana pool, but at the beginning of the game, it's only 100. So I think you can go all the way up. I'm debating between 200 and 300 in total. So then we'll go on to the Water Goddess spell. The Water Goddess. Oh wow, there's a slug that's angry at me. I'll actually have to go and find a quick little floating island around here so I can build something. Right, so let's just really quickly here, I'm going to build a watchtower. Actually, no, we're not going to build a watchtower, we're just going to build a mine. Okay, so the important thing is the minor spell for the Water Goddess is a unit healing spell. So it's similar to the repair, but it heals for everything. So it's pretty nice. It summons a rain cloud. Now the other nice thing about the rain cloud is there are those ant hills that I think some of you might have noticed, like this thing right here. Normally ant hills are covered up by forests, so you won't be able to see them. But if you do find them, you can summon a rain cloud, disappears, don't have to deal with them anymore. The major spell for water summons the Water Goddess, just like the others, and creates a shield around your ship. I don't exactly know how the shield's going to work. I don't know if it's going to be a timed thing, or if it just mitigates all damage and absorbs it and then destroys itself once it's taken too much, or what it is, but that's basically what it does for now. For the Earth spell, the minor spell for it collapses tiles. So, for instance, you can just destroy them. That might seem a little silly. A lot of people are going to obviously ask the question, why would you want to destroy tiles? The answer is because if you wanted to create an escape route for yourself, or alternatively, sometimes if an enemy unit spawns on it, it might just be the best tactical decision to destroy the tile it's on. Conversely, the major spell for it creates tiles. Now that has not been finished yet. Currently, the Earth God does not actually do anything. I can summon him, but he won't actually create the tiles. It's because there's a lot of work involved there. Finally, we come to the Wind Goddess's spells. Now, the Wind Goddess, I wanted to make her some of the most useful in the game, just because since the game is set in a floating island landscape with a lot of atmosphere and all that stuff, it just made sense. So for her, you can click on the enemy spawn points, these maelstroms, with her minor spell, and it shrinks it for a period of time dependent on the number of wind temples that you control. And based on that, it decreases the number of enemies that can spawn out of it for that period of time. So it's a very, very useful thing if you know you've got a spawn point that's right next to one of your bases. You can keep casting that spell, and you don't have to deal with as many enemies. Her major spell is similarly useful. You can summon her, and she supercharges your timer, as you can see right here, which for a set period of time, dependent on the number of wind temples that you control, doubles the speed at which time passes. That's extremely important because it means that you can build units faster, you can harvest resources from those units faster, etc. Now, it doesn't actually make time go faster. As you can see, I'm not moving any more quickly when she's out. It doesn't make the enemies move any more quickly. All it does is work with things that are time-based. So anyways, that's basically the magic system. That's what I wanted to go over with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and like I said, apologies for not having gotten back to you guys with anything substantial for so long. I'm going to try to make a bigger deal about that in the future. and keep posting more screenshots and such as we move on. Like I said, it got a lot to do with the building of units. Anyways, I can't wait to hear you guys' feedback on this.